Hey everybody, so we're over here in the kitchen, everybody's outside getting ready for the games tonight. We got playoff hockey's going, we've got the Lightning that's going to close it out tonight. We got the Rangers up in Madison Square Garden. Shout outs to the Prince and his family, celebrating his legacy, his memory. Purple rain fall down on us all in this kitchen tonight. So let's have some fun though. In memory of him and all the friends that are here tonight, we got tacos galore. Taco bar is going to be going on outside, so we're going to do two different tacos for you this evening, both of which are going to be a tequila mojo criollo mahi mahi. We're going to split off and do two different things with those tacos, as I say. One of which is going to have pickled onions, sliced avocado, a little bit of some lime spritz, and sliced avocado. The other taco that we're going to be doing over here is going to be done up with an adobo chipotle crema red slaw, a little cilantro, and that incredible salsa verde that we had done a little bit earlier with a char tomatillo poblano. I'm telling you, flavors are going to be running wild here this evening because it doesn't even stop there, folks. To end the night, we're going to do Mexican style street corn. I'm telling you, it's going to be phenomenal. A nice little bit of a mayonnaise blend, a little bit of some seasoned salt, the corn husk charred, boom, bam, let's do this. Clean up first, right? Alright, let's get these hands all prepped, ready to go in this kitchen. Let's have some fun with all of you out in TV land. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start doing in this kitchen is we're going to start doing that wonderful mojo criollo. I've already started a little bit of it up. So what I've got going on inside here is a little bit of some chopped garlic, some white wine vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, some juices already of some lime and some orange, a few different seasonings and some spices to it there. Already added a few, but we're going to have a little more fun by adding some more with you all watching. So let's get this started here. We're going to take the zest of some limes and some oranges to it there. The nice thing about using lime zests, orange zest, really any kind of a zest, is you just get the natural oils that come right off of it into it there. So they're a little bit more fragrant. The house is infused with just those citrus notes that's going to be coming through. But what's really also nice is that it really jams packed more flavor into this mojo criollo. So that way then the mahi is going to really get right into it there and take in all of those beautiful citrus notes that we're really going after. So you just want to go for a little bit on all sides of this lime here, and you just want to get that top layer going for it there. We're also, as I say, going to play around with some oranges, and these oranges are going to give it just that nice sweetness to kind of balance out some of that tartness that's coming off of those limes to it there. So I hope you're ready for some incredible flavors that's going into it there. Now, after I get this orange zest going, and we're going to get the juices from it all, we're going to go play around with some garlic. Garlic is a great addition to this dish here. And if you've ever seen the movie Goodfellas, I'm always reminded anytime that I'm ever playing around with garlic, because Paul Sorvino, who's in that movie, is getting the gravy. He's doing a gravy back in the prison up there in New York. And he's got a razor blade, and he's just going at it really thin, really lightly. And that's something that I've always kind of done and played with, was going paper thin. Why? Because what happens is that it will almost disintegrate. And that was what he was saying, was his analogy, was just going paper thin for it there. And we're also just going to kind of come around, bring him in, and get a nice little mince off of it. But anytime that I start off with garlic, I'm always reminded of Paul Sorvino, always reminded of that incredible movie Goodfellas, and so that's always been a part of my cooking regiment right there. So into that bowl, we're going to be going into that little bit of garlic to it there. Now that I got that knife all ready to go, let's get that juices going into it there as well. So we got, again, the lime and the orange. We're going to just take a nice little fork. What I like to do with that fork is just to really kind of get as much of it out of as possible, so that way then we get more of that juice, all that concentrate to it there, and bring it right into it there. And that's going to be really nice. So what we've got is one orange, one lime that we're going to be playing with on both sides to it there. And we're just going to get that juice right out of it. Now this marinade is going to go on to that mahi mahi. And we don't want to go too long into it there, because the citrus acid in both of these fruits could start to cook it. So, I mean, if we really wanted to, this could almost start the way of going of a ceviche here. But we're not going to use it for too long out there. We're only going to go for about 30 minutes for this marinade. I'm also going to infuse some flavors to it there. A mojo criollo really needs to have a little bit of oregano. Why? It's got a little bit of depth, a little bit of some woodsiness to it there. That's what we're going for. I'm also going to add a little bit of chili powder as well to it there. And so that way then it brings out just a little bit of smokiness The paprika, the cayenne pepper, is going to bring out a lot of nice heat. And that's going to really infuse some of this. So we're just going to go very light to it there. I'm eyeballing to it there. What we've got maybe is about a tablespoon or so of oregano to it there, and about a half a teaspoon of the spices to it there. As I say, red pepper is really nice too. The nice thing that we're going to be going for is some balance. And that's great when you're doing anything with the cooking world. A little bit of cumin's going to go into here as well, and just a tad bit of some cayenne pepper. But as I was saying, it's all about the balance. That's what you want, is you want balance to it there. So we've got some spices. We got some citrus. Let's get a little bit of natural, just freshness and lightness. So we got some incredible cilantro. I love cilantro. Cilantro is one of my favorite herbs to cook with. It is just light and it's fresh. And it's going to really kind of bring so much to this dish and just make it so fresh. So into our bowl is just going to go a little bit of just that cilantro. And just for a little bit of more fun and a little more game into this, let's go ahead with this wonderful red onion. We're going to be using this red onion in just a little bit with going with our pickled onions that we're going to be doing. So we're going to just do some diced onions right now. And we're just going to throw a little bit. Now, as I say, I already had started this mojo criollo. I wanted to make sure that you guys were going to be coming to the party. So we're just going to go and cross against the bias and down. So that way then when we go through, we got beautiful diced onions to it there. Right into our bowl. Are we going to go with that bad boy? And that's going to bring a little bit more flavor into this incredible marinade here. So we're going to put that onion, because we're going to play with that onion in just a little bit. But we've got this wonderful marinade. We're just going to give it a nice little bit of a stir and a toss. So that way all of those flavors can really kind of come together on their own and really come alive. All right. That's going to be absolutely phenomenal to it there. So we got our mahi-mahi. That's what's going to go into it there. But we're going to season the fish a little bit. We're going to just take a little bit of some ground pepper to it there and a little bit of salt. Now, I like to grind my own salt. I know, I'm that guy. But it's really nice because what I've been able to do with this is with my mortar and pestle, I've been able to take some different salts and some flavors and make my own. So, in fact, what I'm working with right now is a Himalayan crystal pink salt, which I absolutely love. And so I've ground that up and I've put that into my salt shaker. So that way then I've got really great flavor anytime that I need to use salt, which is really nice. So season that fish with just a little bit of salt and some pepper, so that way then we get a nice little bit of a base. We're going to go ahead with this marinade with everything going on to it there. That cilantro, the onions, the garlic, the juices of that lime and that orange, the seasons. And we're just going to kind of bring it all together so that way everybody's going to be swimming in this incredible pool of flavor. And I wish that you guys could smell this. If we had smell-o-vision right now, I'm telling you, you guys would be wanting this before it even does anything. So that's going to be really, really nice into a quick little marinade. As I say, you don't want to have that go for too long. Now, 30 minutes at the most. If you go any longer, you're going to start cooking the fish, and that's not what we want to do. So, on to the next thing while we got this fish marinating. Let's go play around with what we're going to do with these pickled onions. Really simple way to do it. We're going to get our top going at about medium. We're just going to let that heat up for just a little bit. And into it there, we're going to play around. Some people like to just use white wine vinegar and sugar. I'm not a fan of that one bit. Why? Because I like to have a little bit more sweetness come through to it there. So we're actually going to make a little bit of a blend here. We're going to take a little white wine vinegar, about a quarter cup, and then we're actually going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar. Red wine vinegar is going to take away a little bit of that bite that you would get from the white wine vinegar. And it's going to infuse this a little bit with just some nice little bit of notes to it there. I'm also going to throw in some crushed red pepper flakes to it there, just to give it a little bit of heat. And again, as I said a little bit before, some sugar. That's what's going to be able to pickle everything that we're going on to it there. All right. So, we're going to bring that up to a little bit of a boil here, and then after that we're going to pull it off from a quick little simmer. So I'm just going to kind of clean up as we're going along the way here. Alright, I'm going to chop up some of this cilantro for later, since I've got it right here readily available. So, look at these wonderful knife skills, I'm telling you. And we're just going to work this. We're just going to do a nice little bit of a mince here that we're going to use for these tacos in a little bit. I love my knife set. I use Henkel knives. A friend of mine who has been in the game, he has said, Jeff, it's all about what you're playing with. And for me, my Henkel knives really help me. God, those smells are phenomenal to it there. It's all about the knives. The knives allow me to really get into a lot of great dishes. So Henkel knives are some of the toys that I'm playing with. A few others that I've got in this kitchen. I've got my deep fryer, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's game time. You know that thing is going. We got homemade chips that I'm doing with some of that chili that I'm making. We've got some chicken fingers that are going to be going into it there. Anything, egg rolls, you name it, we do it. We put it into it there. Phenomenal. Fried chicken, absolutely incredible. SodaStream, great thing for us. Beth is pregnant right now, as we all know, because I'm having a hipster baby, everybody. This allows us to drink a little bit healthier. So given the fact that we need to drink a lot more water, it gets boring when we're drinking so much of it all. So this allows us to have a little carbonation, get the bubbles flowing, and has some fun with that one there. Above me, I've got my pizza peel. I absolutely love pizza. Growing up in Connecticut, we've got Pepe's Pizza in New Haven, Connecticut. I replicate it with my pizza stone in here, and the pizza peel allows me to really get that quick little wrist action into it there. So that way then I can be able to do my take on their New Haven style clam pizza, or as they like to call, a beets. Inside here, inside my cabinet, we've got some more toys. We've got my mandolin. We've got my waffle maker. As I said earlier, that deep fryer is phenomenal for some fried chicken. That waffle maker is absolutely incredible for when I do my take on chicken and waffles, where I use actually a mac and cheese waffle to it there. I also have some cheese graters, rolling pins, rice cookers, slow cookers, you name it, I've got it, it's there. Coming into this side here, we actually have some really nice stuff in here. All my pots and pans. We've got the cast iron pans that I absolutely love, and we've got all stainless steel pots. Why? It's clean. It allows me that little bit of sophistication and uniformity in the kitchen. I like to know where things are at. I like to have things that are consistent with one another. So that's where I love to have the pots and pans be all matching in that set. So here we're starting to see a little bit of that smoke coming off of the pan or the pot here. So we're going to move on to making this incredible slaw. I've got a red cabbage head here that I've already halved, and we're just going to do nice thin slices to it there. This is going to allow us to have a wonderful crunch and texture to those tacos to it there. We're not going to do too much because we've got two different styles, and we've got about 5 people or so for dinner night. So we're just going to take 2 good slices, about a ½ an inch on both of them, and we're actually just going to go right down it. So that way, at this point, it's really a quartered slice. We're just going to break it apart a little bit into the mixing bowl. It's going to go, and we have that to kind of work with. Now I'm just going to pull that bad boy apart, break it in part there for us to be able to use. Into our food processor, we're going to have some great flavors to it. I'm going to take a chipotle pepper. I love working with chipotle peppers. Why? Great heat, but a really great smokiness. I absolutely love it. So we're going to add just a little bit of some of that adobo sauce. It's got so much jam-packed flavor into it there. And that chipotle pepper itself is just going to enhance this slaw to the next level. I'm also going to add just a little bit of some mayonnaise, and just a little bit because we're going to actually add a little bit of some Mexican crema. It's going to give, the mayonnaise is going to give this nice egginess to it there, a little softness to it there, velvetiness. And this Mexican crema here that I'm adding is going to bring out just a natural tanginess as well. So we want to have a nice little bit of balance, but we don't want it to be soupy and eggy. So what we are going to do is just do a little bit of both. I've added about 2 tablespoons of both into it there, or we're going to go with that Mexican crema and that mayonnaise to it there. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to it there, because it's all about flavor along the way. It's all about balance. So we're just going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of some cracked pepper into it there. Black pepper is the way to go. And that's really going to be it. We're going to take our lid to our food processor here, and we're just going to give it a quick little burst. The flavor count is where we're going. Awesome. So we've got this incredible little bit of flavor that we're going to add to our slaw. We're going to add that right into it there. Now I'm also going to be doing a mayonnaise blend for our corn. We're going to be doing a Mexican style street corn where we're going to already have the corn that I've already grilled and charred for us all. We're going to pull back the husk of that one there, add a nice little bit of a Mexican blend to it there. And I'm actually going to start doing that as we're going so that way I don't forget. Into it again, we're going to start off with a little bit of mayonnaise. And we're not going to go too crazy with it all because we just want just a tad bit to it there. I'm also going to play around. There we go. With a little bit of some lime juice. The lime juice is going to just bring a nice little bit of bite to it there, and that acidity that we're going to be going with, which is going to be balancing out really nice. And we're going to actually just play with this fork again and get a little bit more of those juices out of it. There we go. Wow, you can really smell the flavors coming through over here. We got this down to a quick little bit of a boil, and we've infused all of that wonderful flavor of the crushed red pepper, the white wine vinegar, the red wine vinegar, and that sugar. So we've brought that to a boil into a nice little bit of a simmer here, and we're almost ready to go with that. But I want to finish what we got going on over here. This mayonnaise, and we're just going to turn that off right there to it there. A little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of salt and pepper coming up into its way. We already put a little bit of some fresh lime juice into that bad boy. And we're going to just add, this time around, just a tad bit, and just a little bit of that adobo sauce. There we go. And just a little bit. We're not going to go with that chipotle pepper this time around just because it might just take a little too much flavor from that corn. So we're just going to do a quick little burst there just to kind of get all those flavors all melt together. Now I just say, as I don't want to go too crazy with using too much heat off of that because we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a salt rub with this as well. So the flavor is going to come from that salt rub for all that heat and the spices to it there. But for right now, this is going to give a nice little bit of some liquid for it all to come together on that corn. So we're just going to let this sit and chill for a little bit while we finish up what we've got going on with everything else in this kitchen, which is already kind of coming out of space. So I think by winning MasterChef, I might be able to have a little bit bigger of a kitchen for Holden, Beth, and I, and his little dude that I just bought a teddy bear for him. And instead of just calling it a teddy bear, well, it's Theodore, because you have to be a little bit different, a little bit odd, and so his teddy bear is not a teddy bear, it is Theodore the bear. So we're going to just do some sliced onions here. As I say, we're going to be doing those pickled onions, and we're just going to take just some nice slices of some onions here, and we're just going to cut thin slices to it there. All right, phenomenal. Into this bowl, we're going to take those onions that we just sliced up, and we're just going to kind of spread them out. This is going to go really well for that style of the taco that we were talking about, because we've got, again, those two tacos that we're going to be working with. This whole mixture of the vinegar, of those two different blends here, of the red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, the sugar, the crushed red pepper, is ready to go. And we're just going to give this a quick little toss to pickle those onions and really bring out some flavors. And this is just going to be a quick pickling here for us to work with. It's going to give a nice little bit of a bite, but it's also going to sweeten it and infuse that. I mean, you can just see those colors coming through from that crushed red pepper as well. I like to play around with infusing oils. I'm going to be doing in a little bit all of these mahi-mahi cuts here that I've already done into inch slices to it there. Into my cast iron skillet is where those are going to go. Now I'm going to be using this cast iron skillet, already seasoned. I love seasoning my own stuff there, but I also love making those oils I was just alluding to a moment ago. So I've done up an olive oil blend there that has a California olive oil to it there, as well as adding crushed red pepper flakes, garlic to it there, and actually a little bit of a kick from some chili pepper oil. So I'm going to be playing with that in just a moment there, but we got the onions, we've got the slaw done, we've got the cilantro done, all those flavors going. Are you guys ready for some tacos? I'm ready for some tacos. So we're going to get this skillet going right here. We're going to turn this on to medium high. We're going to start off with that so we can just get a little bit of heat going. Now, how are we going to do these tacos? Well, we're going to have a little bit of fun with these tacos because we're going to throw these onto corn tortillas. I like using corn tortillas because it has a little bit more flavor to it there. Flour is good for if you're making some fajitas. You can absorb it really well. Corn tortillas just have a little bit more flavor to them there. So we're going to actually take two tortillas and make into one. We're going to glue them together by using a Monterey Jack blend to it there. So let me show you what we got going here. we've got one tortilla already going here with the Monterey Jack kind of a spread, so it kind of brings everything together. We're just going to take our other pieces to it there, and we're going to just throw these right on top of it all. So you're kind of getting like a BOGO here. We got a 2-for-1 special going on incredible tortillas that have so much flavor into them there. So we're going to just kind of bake the oven, and we're going to put it on real low and slow here, because we're just trying to melt them and just bring out some of the oils to it there. So we're going to go at about 275 for just a little bit here. Into that oven is going to go. We're going to monitor and make sure that it starts to stick, it starts to glue, but really it starts to melt and get gooey, gooey, gooey. So let's give this slaw here a nice little bit of toss into it all, and this is going to bring up so much heat. So winning MasterChef is everything to us right now. You know, with Beth being pregnant and with me here having some fun in the kitchen, this is my dream. This has been my passion. It's been food. From a little boy when I used to watch Julia Childs with my mom, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I can't watch Julia Childs with you, Mom. It's Saturday. But it was at that moment that I was hooked, and I thank my mom so much for making me watch those videos with her, because I didn't know that she was planting a seed in me about food. And then when I became a teenager and I wanted to cook for my friends and the girls that would come over for dinner, I was glued at the point of hosting and entertaining, which brought everybody here tonight for having a great time watching some games that we get to share my heart and my home and my love for food and my love for people all together. So this is what it's all about, is having fun. And by having so much fun in this kitchen and being able to be on the biggest stage, on the biggest platform with incredible chefs in the MasterChef kitchen there, I know I'm going to blow them out of the park. I know, because it's always been in my blood to be a winner, to be a champion, to do whatever it takes to make that happen. So I'm stoked to be able to show you a little bit of what's going on here. I'm even more stoked about being able to do what I can in LA by filming, by working, and by doing it the right way. Having fun, hard work, and determination. So we're not done yet in this kitchen yet. We've got the skillet getting warm. We're just having a little bit of a preamble here. I said earlier I love using my mortar and pestle, which is going to come in really nice and handy for me right now, because I've already got a little bit of some blended in here there. I've added some cayenne pepper, a little bit of some chili powder, and a little bit of paprika. Into it, I'm also going to add just a little bit of some smoked ghost chili pepper salt there, and we're going to just use a coarse, really coarse green here to it there, as well as using, as I alluded to a little bit before, some Himalayan pink salt to it there. Into that mortar and pestle is it going to go. I'm going to grind this up myself. This is going to be our salt rub and blend here that we're going to be doing for the Mexican style street corn. So we're just going to give this just a nice little bit of a blend here and grind up all those flavors together. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. I love making, as I say, my own blended oils, my own blended salt. So I'm actually going to save and use this for later as well when all of you are gone. But we're going to just put this into a nice little ramekin, so that way then it's easier for me to play with and to touch. But we got that. We're going to just pour that right into it. Perfect. That's going to go really nice. So, our skillet here is getting hot. I can feel the heat off of it. I can start smelling a little bit of those aromas of that smoke that's coming. That's what we want. Right till you get to that little bit of a smoking point is where we're going to add our oil. So I'm adding that blended oil that I've been talking about, I've been bragging about. Got some crushed red pepper flakes into it there, that garlic to it there, a little bit of a chili oil into it there, and again, California olive oil to it there. And we're going to just throw this bad boy into it there. And there's actually a red pepper flake in there that's just infusing everything in this kitchen, and it smells phenomenal. All right, so I'd say it's ready to go. We're just gonna let that oil heat up for a little bit. We've got those tortillas melting in the oven there. We've got our slaw already done. We've got our pickled onions that are just gonna be chilling over here for a little bit. I've already got for later on these incredible toppings that we're gonna put into this, these two tacos there. We've got our charred tomatillo poblano salsa verde. Into that salsa verde were the charred tomatillos, poblano peppers, serrano peppers, jalapenos, charred onions, garlic, olive oil, lime, cilantro, bing, bom, got it. We're going to do a little bit of some crumbled queso fresco that we're going to do on that Mexican style street corn with that mayonnaise blend that we just did a little bit ago and that salt rub to it there. We got the sliced avocados for one of the styles of the tacos, as well as just a couple limes there to give it just a little bit of some citrus burst of some joy. So we're going to put this right back into the microwave so that we got a little more space in this kitchen. So let me show you something while we're doing this. So I talked a little bit about this teddy bear. I'm stoked about this teddy bear because this right here, this is Theodore. Now he's not just any teddy bear. This is Theodore the teddy bear. He is Mr. Bear, and he's for our little hipster baby. So stoked to be able to get him this. This was the first toy that I actually bought for Holden, and you know, for a proud dad to be, this is really incredible. And I see this now in the wonderful living room that we're putting together some of the stuff. We got our crib that we just put together, the bassinet that we just put together. Haven't even started with the stroller, but this is a cool thing to just kind of remind me of what's on the lines and what's at stake. So this is really exciting stuff. So come back into the kitchen. Let's all right, so that oil's going. We got some heat going to it there. I can smell it to it all. And we've got, again, those tortillas that are just starting to take a little bit of that melt part. And we're just going to do a little bit here of this mahi-mahi that was done up in that mojo creole that we had started off from scratch here with a little bit of olive oil, white wine vinegar, garlic, onions, cilantro, lime juices and zest, orange juices and zest, some salt and some pepper, great seasoning and flavor with some oregano, chili powder, paprika, chili powder, you name it, it's got it. Everything that we would want is going into that marinade. You hear that nice little bit of a sizzle? That's what we're going for. Get a nice little bit of a crust going and some flavor. Now we also don't want to crowd the pan. We really want to be able to get this all done in turns. If you overcrowd, you're actually going to take the heat away from the pan itself, and you're never really going to get a nice bit of a crust to that. You're actually going to just get mush, because the heat that's coming from the pan mixed with the coolness with that marinade and the fish itself is going to take up too much of that space. So it's never really going to get any of that cooking that you really want and that you need. So that's why you want to do these in small bursts to it there. And you can already see when we put that first piece onto it there, you heard all that sizzle, that crack of it all. Now it's really starting to come into its own because that oil is starting to cool down a little bit. So we're going to monitor that. We're going to keep that right now in a medium. As I said, I started off in a medium-high, brought it down to about a medium, so that way then I can really play with that cooking to it there and see it all. The flavors are starting to really come off and cook everything that's going on into it there, which is really, really nice. So we're going to get these done on both sides to it there, that fish, so that way then we got a nice little bit of some marks to it there with a nice golden sear is really what we're going for. Now, while we're kind of waiting, I already charred some corn. Mexican-style street corn is the way to go. Corn's coming right into season in a little bit. So for me right here, right now, I've already grilled this. I'm going to just take the husk backs and just peel it right back. And what we're going to be doing with this is going to be throwing onto it a nice mayonnaise blend that you just saw me work with a little bit ago. It had that adobo sauce to it there, a little salt, a little pepper, and a little bit of lime juice to it there. And we're just going to pull back the husk here on both sides. Some people don't like to have the husk. I do. It kind of gives a little bit of some feel to it there. It's kind of fun and really gives that whole, like, we just did this right now. And that's what I like. I like to have this. And so when we're going to be bringing everything outside, where everybody's joining us back outside for the little hockey view party that we got going, this is a nice little bit of a handle, if you will, for some people to see this. So we're just going to bring back the corn husk a little bit. Also going to bring another plate out so that way then I can serve it. One thing that I always like to make sure that I'm doing is not only making great food that tastes good, but it's got to look good. And by looking good, I mean you got to do it the right way, because if you don't look good, you ain't going to feel good. And if you ain't feel good, you ain't going to have a good time. But if you look good and you feel good, then you're having a good time. So we're going to bring these corn right onto a fresh plate right before we start getting that whole presentation going. I'm making a mess in this kitchen. I'm telling you, it's okay. We're going to have many hints for light work to it there in just a little bit when I'm all done cleaning here. We're just going to pull back these little bit of threads of the corn husk to it there. So that's ready to go. And we're just going to take that wonderful mayonnaise blend and we're just going to work it on both sides, all over, up and down. Here we go. Let's get this mayonnaise blend going. I feel like I'm Bob Ross right now. It's just like we're just going to put a little happy bush of some mayonnaise there. Got already that soft voice to it there. I just need a fro and I'll be all set. So if you guys want me to grow that fro out, I'm totally down to be the next Bob Ross in the kitchen here. Alright, so we've got a mayonnaise blend on all sides of this corn here, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're going to just throw a little bit of that seasoned salt, but I want to give a little look here on that fish because I'm starting to see it. What we took here was that paleness, and what we're looking for is just bringing a nice little bit of a whiteness to it on both sides. And we're just going to break it and just see. So we're getting right at that point there. Now, the great thing about mahi is it's got a lot of flavor and it's going to absorb so much of that. I cut them into those inch slices before because that marinade is going to cook just a little bit of it all, but not too much of it. So we're going to just make sure that we've got nice whiteness, and that's really it. We're really going for right here a little bit more of this goldenness on all sides to it there. So I've got this again at medium heat to it there, so that way then we can be able to do it. So we're going to give this about another minute on the first side to it there. We're going to turn them over. We're going to do everything right like that. Let's get these tortillas out of here before they start burning. We had these at a low heat of 275. 275 was all I really wanted because it allows me the opportunity just to get a nice little bit of a melty gooiness to it there. That's all I was looking for, was just that little bit of a meltedness to it there. Gives a little bit more texture. We're going to just pull these off to it there. And that corn tortilla, again, brings out so much flavors that's so overlooked in really an American style of doing some incredible Mexican food that you can simply do at your house and be jam-packed with so much flavor to it there. So, I'm going to give these bad boys a quick little turn. Oh yeah, now we got it. Now that's what we want. Let's just give this a quick little turn with the wrist. Boom, all in that wrist. Boom, look at that. Oh yeah. So, I'm going to get the next side to it there. We already have this corn here that we're going to be starting up and getting going here. What we've got here was that Mexican blend with the corn, that salt, and again, we've got a little bit of some pink Himalayan salt. We've got a little bit of some paprika, a little bit of some chili powder, a little bit of cayenne peppers to it there. Salt's going to go on all sides of it all with that wonderful mayonnaise blend that we had done up. That mayonnaise blend, again, had a little bit of mayonnaise, lime juice to it there. A little salt and a little bit of pepper. We're not done just yet with that corn. We're going to add just a tad bit of some queso fresco. Queso fresco is absolutely phenomenal. What it's going to do with this is that we've got the saltiness, we got a little bit of this tanginess that's going to come through, this creaminess of this queso fresco that we're just going to do up in nice little crumbles to it there. I've got a nice little bit of a block here that we're just going to break into it in the crumbles. It's a great melting cheese, so if you want to play around with this in your kitchen, queso fresco is the way to go. It's almost like a Mexican mozzarella, if you will. So we're just going to throw this onto it and just get that queso fresco as much as we can. Now what's really nice is that that mayonnaise acts almost like a glue, so it creates that barrier, or excuse me, that layer from the corn to take in all that flavor, that salt rub that we had put onto it there, again, as well as now that queso fresco. Back into the microwave, this is going to go so that we've got a little more surface space to work with, so that way then we can start fiddling around with these tacos. We've got these two taco styles that we're doing. We've got both of them being that tequila adobo, mojo criollo, mahi-mahi, one of which is going to have that adobe chipotle red slaw here that we had done up, a little bit of cilantro, and salsa verde that we're going to put onto it, that char tomatillo poblano. I'm telling you, it's so good. And then we've got that other taco that we're going to be doing as a style with the pickled onions that we had done up, the sliced avocado, and the fresh lime. So we're going to just take two bits here. We got one. We got two. All right. We got a new tong here. It's always important to know what you're working with. We've got raw food, we've got cooked food. So we've got two different tongs, so that way then we can differentiate what's going on to it there. We've got beautiful, beautiful cuts of some mahi that we're just going to put right onto it there. Look at that, look at that. We're just going to get one little burst of some flavor while we're kind of working with it all. Again, we've got these incredible pickled onions, white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, sugar, a little bit of crushed red peppers. I'm going to put onto one. Boom, like so. In fact, we're going to actually take those tortillas. So I've got a little more space to work with here. All right, perfect. All right. Got a little bit of this cilantro that's going to go onto one of ours with that red slaw to it there. Let's get that going into it there. So we're going to start off here. This is going to give a nice little bit of crunch, a nice little bit of a texture to it there, which is what we really want and going for. Into that, we're going to add our salsa verde with that charred tomatillo poblano. Salsa verde is going to go with just this little bit of that slaw. So this is going to have a nice little bit of heat, nice little bit of some punch and fire to it there. And we're just going to add just a little bit of some fresh cilantro onto that bad boy. With this pickled onion one here, we're going to do it with that sliced avocado that we've been talking about. And so this is going to be a nice natural coolness and creaminess that's going to come through to this one. We're going to put 2 slices there for it there, as well as having just a little burst of some fresh lime juice. And this lime juice is just going to make it all come alive onto that dish, like so. So, let's get this piece of corn out here, and we're going to take this one right outside. So, what we did, 2 different styles of tacos going on right over here, both of which are the tequila, mojo criollo mahi mahi, one of which done with this incredible adobo chipotle crema red slaw, the charred tomatillo poblano salsa verde that also had some charred tomatillos, the poblanos, the serrano peppers, jalapenos, onions, and garlic to it there, and a little bit of some fresh cilantro. Over here we had worked with the pickled onions that we had done up with the red and the white wine vinegar, crushed red peppers and sugar, and sliced avocado with just a little bit of some fresh lime juice. And to finish it all out, we had this Mexican-style street corn that we had charred and grilled onto it there. Everybody's outside waiting for these bad boys. Into it there we had this mayonnaise blend that had a little bit of a lime juice, the mayonnaise, a little adobo sauce to it there, and after we pulled that and poured that over on both sides, a nice salt rub there with the Himalayan salt, the smoked ghost chili pepper salt that we put into that mortar and pestle so we can grind it up with some chili powder, with some paprika, with a little bit of cayenne pepper. So I'm ready to eat. I wish you guys could all be joining me here, but if you were joining me here, that means that I'm not going to be out there in LA, so get ready. This is what's coming to you. So from my kitchen to yours, thanks for stopping by.